Lords, in relation to the Noble Lord, the Minister's response to G1, can I just positively welcome the Government's commitment to this review of the right to be accompanied and thank the Government in this instance for listening to the concerns raised at report and committee stage. At report stage, I put forward an amendment that would have allowed workers to have a companion of their own choosing at disciplinary or grievance hearings. I felt it should be that open. I was happy nonetheless to support the Noble Lord, Lord Palmer's amendment that, has already been noted, was overwhelmingly supported. I would still like it to be a statutory right for workers, as this is a workers' rights bill, as we're constantly told, to be able to choose who represents them when they face grievance procedures. So I'm really pleased that the Government will look at this, and I hope that they look widely and think about the issue and we can resolve it. I did want to just respond very briefly to the way that the Noble Lord, the Minister, talked about the decision in relation to keeping the issues internal, and just to draw attention to one of the problems with that, which is that over recent years, sometimes the grievances that workers have been involved in have been quite ideologically contentious, and issues have been very difficult. So simply to call upon fellow workers to come with you into the grievance internally to get one of your workmates has been difficult because of a nervousness about guilt by association. It's also the case that not everyone is in a union, and so when the union might be representing someone, it is the opposite of keeping it internal and informal, because actually the person being in that grievance procedure doesn't even know who they're with. I also want to draw attention just one thing. I wish it weren't the case, but sometimes trade unions' own policies can see them at odds with their own members, and there's been a few instances of that. Recently, see the case of Sandy Peggy, who is suing the RCN around the issue of single-sex changing rooms for nurses, and these things have been well documented. I won't go into them, but it isn't always as straightforward as to say the trade unions will be the best people to represent a member of staff. But to finish, I also want to stress that very often, historically, it has been trade union representatives who have indeed protected and represented brilliantly and been the brilliant advocates for many people facing difficulties at work. I myself sat in many tribunals, sat in many grievance procedures representing members of my own union when I was a trade union rep. So that is an ideal. But when so few, when now only a minority are represented by trade unionists, and based on the aspiration of this bill to represent all workers and to give them more rights, then I really hope that this review will broaden the amount of the rights that workers have through representation, that they can choose who represents them. But in general, I'm very positive about the Government's decision.